What's good? What's good? I am back. Yours truly, the one and only Paul Pickett. Paul Pickett podcast. Um, got a lot to talk about today. This is episode 110. Don't forget this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. Need online marketing promotion for your music, your product, your brand, and your service. Please check out promopalace.biz. Also, if you're a dog lover or cat lover, you like t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts, please check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. That's NEWLITTER.com. Also, for Shizzle, I got to shout out DizzleBrand.com. Just add ice, Dizzle, on ice. Step into the future. Do you Dizzle? I Dizzle. As you see, we got the Dizzle. And you can buy the hats, the t-shirts on DizzleBrand.com. Follow on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and more. Also, you can follow Promo Palace LLC on Twitter. Instagram is Promo Palace, and Facebook, Promo Palace LLC. Also, New Little Apparel is also on Facebook, Instagram as well. Before we get started, don't forget the audio version of my podcast goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, and much more. The video version will be uploaded to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, and we'll take the pre-recorded version and I'll stream it on 3 of my Twitters, usually the Paul Pickett Podcast, Twitter at Paul P Podcast, and Twitter at Paul W. Pickett, and then I'll pick one of my random Twitters, either Urban Obsessions, Indie Castle, or Promo Palace LLC, to pretty much, do the live stream on. All right, first thing first, as usual, let me pull up some NBA scores. This is a sports, music, and a political podcast. So we pretty much talk about all, because nowadays politics is all up in sports. Sports is just filled with politics and whatnot. So, and we're going to talk a little bit of music too. We're going to talk about Super Bowl, the halftime show. We're going to talk about the Canadian truckers and communist Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And I'm going to talk about the James Harden and Ben Simmons trade, give you my take on that. And bear with me, trying to get NBA.com to pull up. Apparently it's not pulling up. So let's go over here and pull up Google Chrome. Bear with me 1 second. And while we're doing that, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe, hit that comment. Pull up NBA.com right here. And we're going to get to Paul's Power Picks, the Triple P Power Picks. Okay. All right, last night, here we go. Atlanta beat Orlando. Of course, they should have. Boston beat Detroit by 1 point, but Boston was due for a loss. I mean, they've been on like an 8-9 game winning streak. Indiana beat Washington. Indiana's playing pretty good right now. They got Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton in the backfield now, but not in the backfield, but in the backcourt now. They literally got a whole new backcourt right now. Brooklyn came back from 28 points down and beat New York. New York is trashed. They're bumped. Chicago beat Sacramento Kings, which they should have. Portland beat Memphis. Portland's been having some little good games here with Dame Lillard out. Anthony Simons is definitely stepping up. So coming back is going to be Dame Lillard and Anthony Simons, I'm guessing, since CJ McCollum's traded. Toronto beat Minnesota. The Spurs beat OKC. Phoenix beat Houston. And Denver beat Golden State on a game-winning shot. Lakers beat Utah. Lakers are due for a win. All right, let me go over my Triple P Paul Power Picks on the Paul Pickett podcast. It's probably going to be pretty much still the same. Number 1, Phoenix Suns, man. Still. Phoenix Suns, still, man. Number 2, going with Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors. Number 3, I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies. And number 4, I'm going with the Miami Heat. And number 5, I'm going with the Chicago Bulls. That's Paul's Power Picks for this week. The Bulls are on a 5-game winning streak. DeRozan is balling out. I'm actually going to let's talk about DeRozan for a second. DeRozan, let me think about it. Is DeMar DeRozan the best shooting guard in the NBA right now? Right now. I'm going to go on a limb and say that he is. I'm going to say he's the best shooting guard right now. And I'm going to say number 2 is probably Devin Booker. But I'm thinking DeMar DeRozan is just – this is the thing. Without Chris Paul there, I don't know that Devin Booker is just taking over games and winning games at Phoenix still. But DeRozan, what he's doing right now is just – he's definitely first-team All-NBA without a doubt. He's the best shooting guard in the NBA right now. If Klay wouldn't have got hurt, it could have been a Klay Thompson. It could have been. But Klay's been hurt last 2 years, and he's starting to get back in his rhythm. But DeMar DeRozan, yes, I'm saying right now he is the best shooting guard in the NBA right now. I'm saying it. I'm calling it. All right, so let me get into Harden and Simmons trade. Oh, man. This trade was awful for the NBA. It's a bad precedent. Sets a bad example, bad standards. You got one team trading a guy who quit on a team with another guy who quitted on his team. So you traded one quitter for another. Think about that for a second. I mean, I got to sit here and look at the camera for a second. Like, we're trading one quitter for another. That's what the NBA's come to. We'll trade. You know what? I'll tell you what, guys. We'll trade your quitter for our quitter. Now, all due respect, Ben Simmons totally quit for the whole year. I mean, he quit because he's scared to go in front of the fans. And all due respect, being afraid to be booed by the fans is not a mental health issue. You can't show me no diagnosis of a mental health issues where it says being scared to be booed by fans. That's part of professional sports. I'm going on a record and saying Ben Simmons is a bold-faced liar. And that Clutch Sports basically helped commit some sort of fraud. This is fraud. Ben Simmons does not have a mental health issue. That is a complete bold-faced bullshit horseshit of a lie. Because now he's all of a sudden ready to play. He didn't have a mental health issue. Clutch Sports, going along with it, just goes to show you that they're complete liars. They're willing to commit fraud. They can't be trusted. They can't be trusted to do honest business because there's nothing honest about what Clutch Sports did. To be honest with you, I used to have a lot of respect for Rich Paul Clutch Sports. I've lost all respect for them now just because they went along with this horse shit, this bullshit. It's complete fraud. It's some form of fraud. And the NBA is going to crack down on this. Ben Simmons, you best believe that Ben Simmons and James Harden, there's going to be a Ben Simmons and James Harden stipulation into contracts now. And I'm on the record of saying if you quit on your team, they should be able to just cut you with no pay. Just void the contract. They should be able to void the contract. That's what they need to put in there. Stipulation that when you quit on a team, void the contract. Contract void, you don't get no dollars. Go play somewhere else. Go quit on them. I mean, sport. I have to say, man, the NBA is a bunch of cupcakes, bunch of soft, grown cupcake men. They're not even men. They're not. Most of these guys in the NBA, they're not men. I don't know what they are. They're not men. I can tell you that much. They must be non-binary or something because these aren't men in the NBA. These are cupcakes. They're soft and sensitive. Men are not soft and sensitive. Not a real man. We're not soft and sensitive. You know, like, sheesh. If I was making $30 million a year, I would care less what fans boo me. Once I cash that paycheck, I could care less what the fans think after that. You know, and Ben Simmons, your job is to play basketball. The easiest job on the planet. You got the easiest job on the planet. Try running a marketing and advertising company by yourself, Ben Simmons. You couldn't do it. And James Harden ain't no better. He quit on his team too. He's a quitter. He quit on 2 teams. But all due respect, though, I got to give all due respect. I'm with James Harden, though, that he should have quit on Brooklyn. Because Brooklyn set a bad example by letting Kyrie Irving play part-time. This is another thing. Name another person on the planet that's making $30 million a year to work part-time. You can't. It's just Kyrie Irving. You talking about white privilege. Oh, I don't want to hear it. There's no white man on the planet getting paid $30 million to work part-time. There's only one person on the planet, and he's an African-American male. It's a black man that's getting paid $30 million a year to work part-time. The only man on the planet get paid to do that. Not a man, not a woman, not a transgender, not a homosexual, not a non-binary person is getting paid $30 million a year to work part-time, but Kyrie Irving. I don't want to hear about white privilege. Athletes have more privilege than anybody. Athletes had privilege since I was in high school. The guys on the football team didn't even have to try for the basketball team. They automatically got a slot. And couldn't play no lick of basketball. Couldn't play a lick of basketball. But automatically got the slot because of athletic privilege. You think Bronny ain't got privilege? Bronny got more privilege than any white man I've ever seen in my life coming up. Any white kid I've ever known, Bronny's got way more privilege than that. Way more privilege. Most privilege comes from being rich, first of all. So, yeah, there's that. But NBA is going to crack down on this. The owners are going to crack down on this. They ain't going to be this, you want to quit and sign a contract and 1 year later you want to quit and want out. And, like athletes want to do this are a bunch of big crybabies, man. All the money they make, man, they're a bunch of big crybabies. Such a big crybabies. All right, let's get into the Super Bowl. First of all, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I thought the Super Bowl was so boring. The Super Bowl itself, not necessarily the halftime show, but the Super Bowl itself. It was so boring to me. And maybe it's because we didn't have a superstar quarterback playing in the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford isn't a superstar. Joe Burrow is going to become a superstar now, but he wasn't a superstar before this year. Joe Burrow was not a superstar coming into this year. Matthew Stafford will probably never, ever be a superstar. So Super Bowl was boring to me. The halftime show I thought was the best ever. And the reason I thought it was the best ever is because somebody made a great point. All the Super Bowls have been like nostalgia plays. And you have Prince and Michael Jackson. They're always nostalgia plays. Like throwback artists. This is the first hip-hop nostalgia play for the Super Bowl. And I think that's why I loved it. I know LA loved it. I didn't know 50 Cent was coming out. People out made a lot of jokes at how big 50 Cent. 50 Cent's eating good. That's the thing. 50 Cent's been eating good of late. 50 Cent practically owns the network Stars. He had the number one show on Stars, and I think he had the number one show on TV at one point. 50 Cent, 50 Cent goes number one no matter what he does. 50 Cent comes out with Get Rich or Die Trying, number one. Takes over, knocks Ja Rule out the park. Second album, number one. I mean, he had one of the most dominant hip hop runs ever. He's having one of the most dominant TV show runs ever. I mean, who knows what's next for 50? And he's not that bad of an actor either. He's a pretty good actor, too. He's a decent actor. I've seen a lot worse actors than 50 Cent. I've seen actors like that totally I've never really liked. Like, I've never been a Ben Affleck fan. He's maybe had 1-2 good movies. Ryan Gosling, something about him is just like 2 thumbs down from Siskel and Ebert. It's just something about him, man. You know, there's plenty of actors out there that are not that great to me, that just so boring as actors and just don't really bring nothing to their character, that 50 Cent is probably better than. So, yeah, Super Bowl was not all that. The team that probably should have won. I feel sorry for Odell Beckham Jr. His career is probably over. His career, I mean, I don't think it makes sense for him to try to come back. He needs to just focus on being a social media star now and just doing endorsements and stuff. Because, I mean, a broken leg and 2 torn ACLs is nothing to play with. Let me get his Matthew Stafford. This is one thing I don't like about sports analysts and debaters. You know, Matthew Stafford wins the Super Bowl, and it's like, now y'all want to debate if he's a Hall of Famer or not. Why can't we wait till somebody's career is over before we start debating these things? I mean, all due respect, yeah, Matthew Stafford didn't win a playoff game before he got the Rams. But all due respect, the Detroit Lions did not win a playoff game in my freaking lifetime. I repeat, the Detroit Lions have not won a playoff game in my freaking lifetime. Paul freaking Pickett is not seen them win a playoff game in my motherfucking lifetime. There, I said it. So let's stop acting like Detroit Lions have ever put a winning team on the field. The only time they had a somewhat semblance of a winning team was when they had Megatron, and he retired early, Calvin Johnson. That's when they were actually winning games in the regular season. But past that, Matthew Stafford hasn't had a legit running back, a legit number one receiver, a dominant defense when he was at Detroit. Let's, all due respect, let's not act like I'm 42 years old going on 43, and Detroit Lions have never won a freaking playoff series. Never. And guess what? I'm going on a record and saying it, that I will die before the Detroit Lions ever win a playoff series. I will die. I'll probably be 80-something years old, and they still will not have won a playoff series. They might not even have a team by then. Detroit Lions, man. They've been the worst NFL team in my lifetime. My lifetime. I mean, like, let me see if I could just pull up this NFL standing to see if I could. Let me see if I can find a team that was any worse. I mean, I've seen Dolphins have way better teams than Lions. Jets, Buffalo. I've seen Buffalo go to 4 straight. I've seen the Bengals go to 3 Super Bowls in my lifetime. Pittsburgh. I mean, maybe Cleveland. Hell no. Cleveland Browns have been better than Detroit Lions. Hell no. Houston, Texas. I've seen Houston, Texas be better than Detroit Lions. Jacksonville, Jaguars went to the AFC Championship. No, Detroit Lions are the worst franchise ever. Forever. That is fact. I've seen the Bears win at 85, and I've seen them go to the Super Bowl again. I've seen the Vikings go to like 1 or 2 Super Bowls, if I'm not mistaken, or get two or three AFC championships. See, man, no. Detroit Lions are the worst team ever in NFL history. We got to give Matthew Stafford a little bit of break. Let's pump the brakes and let him see what he does with the Rams, and then we can start talking about Hall of Famer. But the guy just won the Super Bowl, man, and people are already like, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. Let the man celebrate his Super Bowl win. The Rams brought him in to get to the Super Bowl and win. Did he not do his job? Did he not do what they brought him in for? I mean, I don't know what more can you say. What more can he say? All right, let me get into this Canadian trucker Justin Trudeau thing. I posted on Facebook. You know, I really don't think it's smart that you sit there and you trash and shit on people keyword is that you depend on to deliver your food. You should never shit on people that you depend on to deliver your food. If you don't depend on them, that's one thing. But we're talking about depend. Keyword is depend. You know, even a friend of mine posted on my Facebook post, I'm a DoorDash. Yeah, that's right, because I'm a DoorDash driver. You know, I'm a DoorDash driver. And then it made me think, I wasn't even really thinking about DoorDash drivers. But anybody that's making your food or delivering your food that you depend on them to do that, it's the last person you talk shit to. First of all, it's complete stupidity. Like, if somebody's making your food and you're talking shit to them, you're asking for it. You're asking for them to hockaloogie, drop your food. You're asking for it, man. You don't talk shit to somebody who's making your food, man. And saying you don't talk shit to people who you depend on to deliver your food. Complete stupidity. I mean, if these truckers just decide, you know what, screw Canada, screw America, screw all y'all grocery stores. We're just all going on strike, and nobody. You think they're gonna have enough truck drivers to fill those voids? Hell, no, you're not. Because everybody's not going to try to be a truck driver, which is a predominantly male-dominated industry. Countless tireless hours of driving, you know. So they're not just gonna, like, that's the thing. Like, if all these truck drivers stop delivering our food, we're fucked. We're fucked. Everybody, as soon as people find out they stop delivering, everybody's gonna run to grocery stores and buy everything off the shelves just so they know they have something. I'm just gonna run and get nothing but ramens and peanut butter and bread and freaking just anything to make sandwiches. Just sandwiches and pasta. I'm going to get pasta and sandwich stuff. And that's it. I'm going to buy all the deli meat I can buy, all the bread I can buy, all the peanut butter I can buy, all the ramens I can buy, all the pasta I can buy, sauces, and that'd be it. Everybody else is going to go buy all the shit that's going to spoil the quickest and go bad the quickest. I'm going to buy all the stuff that's going to last the longest. I can put the bread in the freezer, last a while. You know, peanut butter and pastas, those are going to last super long. Rices, I'm getting all the dry goods. All the dry goods. But that's one thing. Then another thing, this Justin Trudeau cat. It's good to know that we have a freaking communist dictators staying right next door to us, you know, in Canada. Like, this guy is a communist dictator, clearly. This shit would not fly in America. This shit would not fly in America. You know, it would not fly. I'm interested to see how this is going to go, because they're going to try to, I know they're going to try to push this BS in America too, but this ain't going to go well for Canada. I'm going to tell you that right now. This ain't going to go well for Canada. Not at all. Now they're talking about freezing your bank accounts, control of cryptocurrency. They're calling kids in bouncy houses terrorists. If kids in bouncy houses are terrorists, then everybody on the planet are mass murderers and serial killers. If kids in bouncy houses are terrorists, then everybody on the planet is a mass murderer or a serial killer or a sociopath. I mean, come on, we're calling kids in bouncy houses terrorists now? And it's such a hypocritical stance that you call people blocking traffic violent protests, but you call people burning down buildings and looting and stealing peaceful protesters. Horseshit. Bullshit. Such a hypocritical stance, such a double standard. Hypocrites are the worst people on earth. They're the worst people on earth. The worst. I mean, hypocrites are up there with rapists and cold-blooded murderers and child molesters. That's the top four scumbags of the earth. Cold-blooded murderers, rapists, child molesters, and hypocrites. I mean, they're top five, you know? Like, there's nothing worse that I hate than a hypocrite. I can't stand a hypocrite, you know? I just can't. I never will, you know? Like, nobody fucking likes a hypocrite, man. Justin Trudeau, he's not really a hypocrite because he's showing his true colors. He's clearly said he admires China for their dictatorship because their economy is, you know, getting better. But I can tell you right now that the average people in China are not the ones getting rich off the economy. That's for sure. The dictators are the only ones getting rich off the economy. That's why he likes it. Because, yeah, the economy will boom up for Canada, which the Canadian economy is not probably all that great as it is, because they're definitely not better than China or India right now, or probably even the UK or something like that. But yeah, he likes it because it's an opportunity for him to be a dictator and get filthy rich. But I don't think things are going to go well for this Justin Trudeau cat towards the end. I think this is the thing, man. Like, you know, like China has always had dictators. Some of these countries like Russia and China have always had dictators. But these countries that ain't never had dictators that you're trying to be a dictatorship into now, those are the countries where it's going to turn into Nazi Germany. It's going to turn. It's going to go. That's the thing. Germany was never a dictatorship. Then somebody started turning it into a dictatorship. Well, when you're used to being having freedoms your whole history, and that's the thing. The Germanic tribes fought the Roman tribes for freedom. You know what I'm saying? So let's not forget the Germanic tribes fought against the Romans for freedom against the Roman dictators and the Roman tyrants. So yeah, like when you're used to fighting for freedom, your whole, you know, natural historical, you know, timeline, and then all of a sudden somebody tries to be a dictator, it doesn't go well for that country or for that dictator in the end. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Canadians are going to push back on this super heavy. I wouldn't be surprised if a Canadian Civil War happens. I would not be surprised if Canadians have, and I won't be surprised if America. I've already said it. I think America will have another Civil War in my lifetime. But this Civil War is not going to be about freedoms solely. It's going to be about, actually, it is. It's going, because one side is trying to control what we think and what we say and how we view. So it is going to be on freedoms. It's going to be, but the new Civil War won't be, North versus South. It'll be woke versus non woke. That's what it'll be. Woke versus non woke. Because once you go woke, you go broke. So yeah, this I wouldn't be surprised if they go into civil war because he's pretty much trying to declare martial law. That's the thing. America's known forever that martial law is going to come sometime in our lifetime, and when it does, I'm going to tell you right now, we are ready to push back our martial law. We are ready to push back. And this is the thing. I shouldn't need the laws of man to tell me that I have freedoms in this world. Like, this is the thing, man. People allowed to say and do what they want, as long as they're willing to accept the consequences. Like I always say, if I want to walk up to Shaq and tell him in his face, go fuck yourself. Hey, I got the freedom to do that. Now, Shaq might pick me up, power drive me, suplex me, body slam me. That's the consequences. But nobody gets to dictate whether I go up to Shaq or not and say that. Not that I ever would, but I always use that as a point because Shaq's so big and huge and I'm so freaking small compared to him. I just want to walk up and poke him in the damn eye, and say, hey, screw you, Shaq. Hey, I got the freedom to do that. But he also got the freedom to whoop my ass. The laws of man are so bogus. If the economy crashes at any point in our lifetime, the laws of man will hold no weight. The laws of nature immediately take back over. Because on this planet, Mother Earth does not give a rat's ass about the laws of man. I repeat, Mother Earth does not give a rat's ass about the laws of man. She follows the laws of nature. Mother Earth follows the laws of nature. And Mother Earth is far more superior than any freaking man or any government. It's like when you see the alien movies, it kills me. Like that movie with Keanu Reeves, The Day the Earth Stood Still. She's like, "Why have you come to our planet?" He's like, "Your planet." I mean, how we can't even prevent hurricanes and tornadoes, and we talk about our planet. Man, we don't own shit. Mother Earth owns this planet. Mother Nature, the laws of nature. So yeah, that's what I think about the Canadian trucker thing. I think it's gonna go to civil war. I'm on the side with the Canadian truckers, definitely against any kind of dictatorship, because I don't allow nobody to dictate my life. The only person that gets to dictate my life, you're looking at him, me, Paul Pickett, the one and only Paul freaking Pickett is the only one that dictates his life. Before I end this podcast, there was something I was thinking about. I was walking back from the store earlier. I don't want to hear about people talking about prison reform until I see mankind stop caging up animals. As long as I see mankind caging up animals, I don't want to hear jack shit about prison reform. Because first of all, I trust my dog over nearly everybody in society. My dog cares about me more than anybody in society, damn near. She loves me more than damn near anybody in society. And I can trust my dog more than anybody. I can trust complete strangers' dogs more than I can the complete stranger. My next door neighbor's dog, Mongo, I trust him far more than I trust any complete stranger that I've never met. Why? Because Mongo would never harm me. He would never harm me. He literally, if my door is open, he literally knows that my door is wide open to him. He could come in any time Just walk right on in. Cool as can be. Well, and I trust them. You think I could keep my door open and just trust any person to walk in and leave out without stealing something? No, I can't. I can't. Not a complete stranger. Because this is the thing. Trust is something that is built. You don't trust somebody just because. It's the dumbest thing in the world. But so when y'all people in society want to stop caging up dogs and animals, then you come talk to me about prison reform. Until then, people in society, we deserve a taste of our own medicine. I've been locked up in jail before. I've been locked behind bars with one bunk, one cell, one bunk, one toilet, 3 people. And I lucked out and got the bunk. I lucked out and got the bunk because the person locked up, there was one person in the cell. He was sleeping on the floor right when you opened the door. I stepped over him, went to the bunk, didn't get no sleep whatsoever that night. Then they locked up the guy that was in the drunk tank next to me because he wrecked his boss's car. They threw him in there too, and he ended up sleeping on the floor because I sure as hell wasn't giving up the bunk. And, after it was just wide open and nobody's taking it, I wasn't giving up the bunk, that's for sure. That's the thing. You literally 3 dudes in one cell, one bunk, and we got to piss and shit in front of each other. So mankind deserves a taste of our own medicine because we be caging up animals like we're so superior to animals. Well, you know what? Go walk in the woods without a bow and an arrow or without a crossbow or a shotgun and roll up on a grizzly bear. Let's see how superior you are. Go roaming through Africa and not have no weapon on you. Let's see how superior you are to a hyena or a lion. We're not superior. We're only superior when we got weapons. But one-on-one, hand-on-hand combat, we are not superior to grizzlies and lions. They'll eat us for breakfast. Go swim in the ocean with a shark, and let's see how superior you are if you ain't got a harpoon. We only think we're superior because we can make weapons. But and that's when we're only superior, is when we have weapons. But without the weapons, we're nothing. We're nothing. Yeah, we're mincemeat. We're shark food. We're lion food, tiger food. Go roam in the jungle and try to fight a gorilla one-on-one, and let's see how superior you are. And guess what? Guess who follows the laws of nature? Animals. Guess who doesn't? Men. We don't even follow the laws of nature. We totally go against them. That doesn't sound. And then, if we're so superior, why are we emotionally attached to people and your lucky hat and your favorite shirt? We have emotional attachments to things that animals don't have emotional attachments to. You know what that's called? A weakness. Weakness. Weaknesses aren't superior. A weakness is not superior. We're not, like this idea that we're just so superior. This is the thing. We don't want people saying that, somebody's superior because of their race. But mankind automatically acts like we're superior because we're humans and we're not animals. First of all, the first man was an animal. We had animalistic traits and natures. First man didn't walk on 2 feet. The first man walked on all four. Hunted like an animal, ate raw meat like an animal. Before we discovered fire, mankind was an animal. We were animals. But then we discovered fire and our brains started to get bigger and swell and we got it smarter. But before then, we were no different than animals. But just because animals didn't learn how to cook food and we did, we evolved and got smarter. But doesn't sound like we're just so superior to me, So to anybody that thinks man is superior over animals, I don't want to hear you crying and complaining about when one race says they're superior than the next thing, because you're a freaking hypocrite. Like, so people only deserve equality. They only deserve humane outcomes. Why animals don't deserve any kind of equality or any kind of humane outcome. Animals should just get slaughtered just cause, right? No. So yeah, I don't want to hear nobody talking about human rights or prison reform until you stop caging and treating animals the way we treat animals. If it's okay to treat animals the way we treat animals, then it's okay to treat people the way we treat people, as far as I'm concerned. Because if not, then you're a hypocrite as far as I'm concerned. Because guess what? Animals have feelings too. All mammals have feelings and emotions. My dog has feelings and emotions. She can cry. So this idea that you have no care for something that can cry, that has emotions, is just so hypocritical that you want to be this human rights activist. Like our emotions are so much more important and so superior. It's should be at the forefront of everything. Screw your emotions. I care more about an animal's emotions than human emotions. People are soft and sensitive as far as I'm concerned. People need to man up and woman up, become adults in life. So, yeah, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is Paul Pickett Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Pickett, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. The Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. Don't forget this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. It's also sponsored by New Letter Apparel at newletter.com. Also sponsored by Dizzle Brand. Check us out, dizzlebrand.com. Established 2001, dizzlebrand.com. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and more. Got a dozen recipes on there. And you can just throw Dizzle on ice and it's good to go. Don't forget the video version is uploaded to YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Instagram, and then we'll take the pre-recorded version and stream it on 3 of our Twitter accounts live as well. And the audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much more. Once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Peace, and I'm out.